Hi there! Welcome to Tekky Toys. The purpose of this instructional video is to show you just how quick and easy it is to set up your graveyard ghoul. Before you set up your graveyard ghoul, find a suitable area to place it in. Make sure to place the graveyard ghoul on level ground or a flat surface, as this will ensure optimal operation. Also, keep the ground or area around the graveyard ghoul clear of obstructions and debris, such as leaves, bushes, and rocks, as they may hinder movement. The only thing that you will need to set up your graveyard ghoul is a small screwdriver and 4 brand new, fresh AA batteries. We recommend that you replace the demo batteries with your new fresh set of batteries. But do not install the batteries now. Please install them when you are directed to during this setup. We suggest taking everything out of the box before you begin. Your part list is as follows: head with clothing, base, bottom pole labeled D and E, lower middle pole labeled C and D, upper middle pole labeled B and C, top pole labeled A and B, tombstone, 2 halves, and tombstone stakes. Place the base in the area you plan on displaying it. Make sure it is on a level surface. Find the bottom pole labeled D and E, paying special attention to the notched grooves on the end labeled E. These grooves will need to line up correctly with the E connection on the base. Push the E end of the bottom pole into the base and twist to lock the pole into place. The twist lock connection may be tight when first assembled. Make sure to twist fully to make a good connection. Take the lower middle pole labeled C and D and line up the notches on each pole. Now, matching D to D, push the 2 poles together and twist to lock. Next, take the upper middle pole labeled B and C and matching C to C with the lower pole, line up the notches and twist to lock. Before you begin the next step with the head and clothing, you will need to pull the clothing up over the head. This will give you a clear view of the A connection point on the base of the head. Locate the top pole labeled A and B and insert the A end of the top pole underneath the clothing. Matching A to A, line up the notches correctly and push the top pole onto the connection. Now, matching B to B on the upper middle pole and the top pole, line up the notches and push the poles together. Then, twist to lock. Pull the clothing back over the head to cover poles and down to the base. You will notice 2 multicolored wires labeled F and G hanging down. Make sure these wires are not twisted around the poles, and connect these to the corresponding wires coming out of the base. Matching F to F, snap connect the wires together. Do the same for the G to G connection. To assemble the tombstone, you will need the 2 halves of the supplied straight tombstone stakes. Take the 2 shorter stakes and push them into the left and the right side of the bottom half of the tombstone. Next, take the longer stake and push into the hole in the middle of the tombstone's bottom half. Now, take the top half of the tombstone. Line up the stakes on the bottom of the tombstone and push the 2 halves together. In order for your tombstone to stand on its own, you will need to insert the T-stakes in the bottom. If you are placing your graveyard ghoul inside, push the middle of the T-stake into the bottom right and left sides, making sure to insert the stake level so it will keep the tombstone standing perfectly vertical. Turn the sides of the T-stakes in the opposite direction of the tombstone to support standing on a level surface. If you are placing your graveyard ghoul outside, push one end of the T-stake into the bottom right and left sides, leaving one end of the stake sticking straight down on each side. Then, push the spike into soft ground when placed outdoors. Take care not to insert the stakes into hard ground or push too hard on the stakes, as they can be broken if care is not taken. You might want to use a screwdriver to create a hole into your ground for the stakes. Place the assembled base with body of your graveyard ghoul close behind the tombstone. Notice the stakes in the hands and insert the stakes into the top right and left sides of the tombstone. Now locate the battery compartment on the back of the base. With your small Phillips screwdriver, open the battery cover and remove the demo batteries. Place a fresh set of new 4 AA batteries in the compartment and replace the battery cover with your screwdriver. To give your graveyard ghoul a realistic appearance, straighten the clothing, hood, and shawl around the ghoul's neck. Now turn the switch on top of the base to on, and let the scaring begin. For more information, visit our website at tekkytoys.com and click on Customer Support for other helpful tips and troubleshooting. Also available are downloadable instructions and product setup videos. You can also click on the item to find where to purchase additional optional equipment, such as footpad triggers for activation and replacement DC adapters. Thank you, and happy haunting!